Hello everyone, welcome to Sports Kabaddi. Arun Foot and Curious Harry. After a day's break, we're back with an I League review session, and we'll also review the ISL game that just took place between Odisha and Hyderabad, and sort of give you guys some updates on the IWL as well. So, a few things to cover. Um, Again, Odisha sort of look good. I think they're sort of carrying that confidence that they've carried throughout the AFC Cup, and now they're translating it into the ISL as well. Comfortable 3-0 win in the end. They could have it could have been more on the day, and yeah, very interesting win. Hiren, I'll come to you first. What do you make of this performance from Odisha? 3-0, comfortable in the end.
Definitely comfortable for them, and this is a perfect Sergio Libera match. And also now they are focused, you can say कि in ISL, and जिस तरह से अभी I think fourth position पे वो आ चुके हैं. And next इस तरह जिस मैच में मतलब इस तरह से परफॉर्मेंस दी है, I think next three matches भी थोड़े से comparatively easy है उनके लिए. पंजाब एफसी है, उसके बाद जमशेदपुर है, एंड एक में भी आई थिंक एक और मैच है, तो तीनों मतलब मोस्ट प्रोबेबली इजी मैच है. तो आई थिंक दे हैव अ रियली ग्रेट चांस कि बिफोर गोइंग इनटू द ब्रेक वो यहाँ पे सेकंड थर्ड या फिर फर्स्ट पे भी जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि बाकी जो उनसे हायर रैंक टीमें हैं, मोहन बगान, केरला एंड एफसी गोवा, उनके आपस में भी मैच है, तो कहीं ना कहीं पॉइंट तो ड्रॉप होने ही होने. सो ओडिशा एफसी हैव अ ग्रेट चांस टू कैच अप दैट, and also you can say कि become a table topper in the ISL. So that's a great sign for Odisha FC. And मतलब जिस तरह से अब टीम देखिए आप, एक वो वेल जेल्ड अप हो चुकी है, एक प्लेयरों में भी वो कॉन्फिडेंस दिख रहा है. आज अगर आप देखिए सभी प्लेयर्स की, जितने भी प्लेयर्स आज खेल रहे थे, मोस्ट ऑफ देम हैव अ वेरी गुड गेम, आई वुड से. एंड आई थिंक वो एक कहीं ना कहीं एक दूसरे का परफॉर्मेंस भी रिफ्लेक्स होता है, एंड कॉन्फिडेंस भी दिख रहा है यंगस्टर में भी. आप देखिए जिस तरह से आइजैक ने परफॉर्मेंस दी, दैट वाज सम ब्रिलियंट थ्रू बॉल्स फ्रॉम हिम, जिस तरह से उन्होंने निकाले. उसके लिए यहाँ पे आज एमी राने वाले का परफॉर्मेंस देखिए, ही इज गेटिंग दैट कॉन्फिडेंस. एंड जिस तरह से सर्जियो लबरा के अंदर उनका फिर से मतलब आई थिंक जिस तरह से परफॉर्मेंस इस सीजन देखने को मिला है, दैट्स अ ग्रेट टू सी. मोर्तादा फॉल लग रहा है कि भाई वो तो यहाँ पे टॉप स्कोरर की रेस में आगे बढ़ने वाले हैं, जिस तरह से वो एक के बाद उनके गोल आ रहे हैं. उसके अलावा पूतिया आप देखें कंसिस्टेंट बेसिस पे मिडफील्ड में, आई थिंक इज डूइंग रियली वेल. अहमद जाऊ की तो बात करना ही मतलब क्या बोलती वही, आई थिंक इज देयर मेन मैन. जिस तरह से बंदे ने मैच बाय मैच परफॉर्मेंस देता जा रहा है, दैट्स अ ग्रेट साइन. बट आई थिंक हैदराबाद एफसी के लिए मैं मतलब का सारी मैचेस का परफॉर्मेंस वो देख रहा था, तो आप देखिए 10 मैचेस उन्होंने खेले हैं, उसमें से सिर्फ दो ही ऐसे मैच है जिसमें उन्होंने 2 गोल के मार्जिन से आ रहे हैं. बाकी सारी मैचेस वो 1-0 के मार्जिन से आ रहे हैं. आई थिंक आज भी मेरे को लगा कि ऐसा नहीं था कि ये 3-0 वाला मैच था. आई थिंक दे मतलब जितने चांसेस उन्होंने बनाए, आई थिंक एटलीस्ट एक और 2 गोल तो आप उनसे एक्सपेक्ट कर ही सकते थे. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली उनकी फ्रंट लाइन आई थिंक उस तरह से गोल यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कन्वर्ट नहीं कर पा रही. एंड जो भी फॉरेनर्स है, चाहे वो जोनाथन मोया हो, जो नोवेल्स हो, यहाँ पे उस तरह से आपको जो एक फॉरेनर से जो आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन होती है, या फिर वो आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं उसके ऊपर खड़े नहीं उतर रहे. बैकलाइन देखिए पूरी इंडियन बैकलाइन के साथ खेल रहे हैं, फिर भी आप देखिए एक भी मैच में उन्होंने 2 से ज्यादा गोल खाए नहीं है. 10 मैचेस में उन्होंने एक भी मैच में 2 से ज्यादा गोल नहीं खाए, तो देर शोज कि भाई डिफेंसिवली उतना ज्यादा दिक्कत नहीं है. द इशू इज इन द फ्रंट लाइन की, जहाँ पे चांसेस तो बन रहे हैं लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली उसको कन्वर्ट नहीं कर पा रहे. सो आई थिंक टफ रोड अहेड फॉर हैदराबाद एफसी. बहुत हम सबको पता है फाइनेंशियली दे आर स्ट्रगलिंग, एंड January transfer window will be really interesting to see how many players will lift. Already they have a transfer ban, so lot of things against going there. So let's see how they are going to recover from this.
Yeah, going to be interesting. A lot of you got speaking about Yasir's performance. Joe Knowles, of course, was probably the more disappointing one. Had a couple of chances he should have scored. Um,
He's
again,
straight sent back into the Australia.
yeah, and Rex pointing out Isak's performance. I know Igor also mentioned it's good to have you back, and I wanted to ask you about
Thank you.
Isak's performance today. Just we've seen the winger side of him, which is the quick feet, nice. He's very clean when the ball comes out wide. But today we got to see a couple of brilliant through balls, like Hiren mentioned, cutting through the opposition's defense. Is that a very sort of is that a positive sign from a winger, a very young Indian winger?
It's just that when you work with Ahmed Jahu, you pick up things. Very simply said. Look at Apuya, the way he's developed playing alongside Ahmed Jahu. you saw today sometimes Ahmed Joe again. There was one nutmeg from Yasir where I know he was not very happy. You could see it with him. So next time, my friend, I'll have a go at you. But I would also mention two other players. Amay Ranawade was mentioned by Hiren. Another boy that Lobera worked with in Mumbai as well, Pranjal, who has not been a regular at Mumbai or at Odisha, who comes in for Jerry. We're coming at one of the best players that Odisha have, and then you play a good game, and you also see in the goals that Roy Krishna scored, Amay Ranawade. I don't know. Do they sip espresso or coffee, or what was that celebration? I didn't get that. Did you guys get that?
No, I have
Chai,
no
chai,
idea.
chai.
But
It's a chai celebration.
It it was it chai or was it coffee?
I
I
think
think
most
I
probably
think the question to ask, if anyone knows, please let us know. Because I thought to me it looked, because they were holding the cup very small. I know that Serge Gnabry does that at Bayern. He does this. He used to do it at Arsenal, and he's
yes.
doing it at Bayern as well. But that was always very
But,
clearly a sign of coffee, right? So therefore, I was a little confused. But it shows the bonding. I think what makes this team so dangerous for the rest of the league is when you see these kind of things, that bondings. You had 5 former Mumbai City players in the starting lineup that know exactly what Lobera wants from them. You have Ahmed Jahu. I know that in Mumbai, I think the thought was to release him because he was getting old. This is vintage Ahmed Jahu. It's just brilliant the way he's playing. Murtada falls, scoring left, right, and center. Odisha, again, we've been talking about teams who could live the ISL. I think Odisha is getting better and better by each match. And if we
exactly.
look at the first half an hour of what Hyderabad played, Hyderabad were in the game. Perinan with that shot.
Mm.
And I felt Joe Knowles towards the end as well. Hyderabad is getting into those positions, but as Hiren said, there's something lacking. I don't know, even an older Batu Beche this season most probably could have taken them at least to mid-table. I think that is what is
mid-table,
lacking in this
exactly.
team. So this is just one thing which I feel, because if you see an all-Indian backline, with Sana, with Nim Dorji, Pujari, Vignesh today, another ex-Mumbai City player who played under Lobera. So it's quite interesting, Vignesh having a fight out with Pranjal and with Amay, 2 players that he's played with. And it's an interesting thing to see. It's on one side, I feel happy for Odisha. Also, the atmosphere today, I don't know. It was quite calm and quiet towards the start, but it picked up. It was quite loud. The figure was given through at 3,745 people at the ground. There is something building in Odisha. That's a good thing to see. Football, also the women's game as well, with the whole infrastructure, the FIFA academy coming over there, FIFA football for schools starting over there. Odisha is hopefully going to become a real hotbed for Indian football in the next few years.
Yep. Magua pointing out again they're high on conference. Natural to see them again performing well in the ISL. Igor Seaman says Udanta is greater than Isak. Not at the moment, no chance. I mean, clearly, I mean, right now Isak is just
Maybe a little sarcasm, but Isak is one of those players,
possible.
a player who we've not mentioned, who I think besides Ahmed Joe had the most passes today, Putea.
Yes.
Another one of those where this is a player who should have been in the 50 list. Even a Lenny Rodriguez with that performance today needed to be in that list. So, there are certain players, and again, even looking at today's game, Amay Ranawade in that 50 list. Yeah, he deserves to be in that 50 list. So it's very interesting to see Odisha playing the way they are, and maybe Lobera is building a champions team.
Yeah. English tea is what Rex says. It was in the
I
celebration.
felt too. It was more. No, I felt it was. I felt it was an espresso. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Roy Krishna was one of those late nighters who used to drink espresso as ATK. But I might be wrong. So maybe we'll be able to find out in the coming days what it was.
Yeah. Guys, just again a quick look on the table right now. So you've got Odisha in fourth. They're 3 points short of FC Goa, who are on top of the table. On the other hand, you've got Hyderabad really struggling now. So they're 10 games in, 4 points. And now there's sort of a gap between 10th and ninth, because Jamshedpur, of course, lost to BFC yesterday. So there's a little bit of a healthy-ish gap. You've got now Chennai, East Bengal, Northeast, BFC separated by 2 points, and then you've got the bottom three separated by 2 points, Jamshedpur, Punjab, and Hyderabad. So what do you guys think? Is this a sort of is this a good indication now? Now that we're sort of almost midway through the season, Hiren, that this is how it's going to sort of structure itself.
I,
These
I,
four
I,
clubs for the top six.
आई थिंक वो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंशिएट या फिर वो एक सेक्शन बन चुका है कि कौन से टीम से वो यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं टॉप में रहने वाले, टॉप के लिए कंटेंट करने वाले, कौन सी टीम यहाँ पे वो 5th 6th पोजीशन के लिए कंटेंट करने वाले, और कौन से क्लब यहाँ पे बॉटम हाफ ऑफ दी टेबल में रहने वाला है। वो कहीं ना कहीं क्लियरिटी मिलती हुई दिख रही है, क्योंकि आई थिंक जो टॉप 5 क्लब है, आई थिंक मैं उसको तो देख ही रहा हूँ कि वो कंटिन्यूअसली मेरे को लगता है कि थ्रू आउट द सीजन वो रहेंगे। 6th पोजीशन के लिए मैंने जैसे बोला था कि भाई चेन्नई, ईस्ट बंगाल, बेंगलुरु, इन तीनों के एंड नॉर्थ ईस्ट, इन 4 क्लबों के बीच में वो 6th पोजीशन के लिए लड़ाई हो सकती है। एंड बॉटम हाफ में क्लियर ही है कि यहाँ पे हैदराबाद, पंजाब आई थिंक वो दिख रहे हैं। ओडिशा एफसी से आई थिंक जो मैंने जैसे स्टार्टिंग में भी बोला, आई थिंक नाउ केरला ब्लास्टर और यू कैन से कि एफसी गोवा, नॉर्थ ईस्ट सॉरी मोहन बगान needs to be aware because this team is, जैसे सर ने बोला, आई थिंक बिल्डिंग अप वेरी वेल। एंड जिस तरह से टीम की केमिस्ट्री दिख रही है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिख रही है, एंड जिस तरह से आई थिंक वो दिख रहा है, आई थिंक दैट्स अ ग्रेट साइन फॉर ओडिशा। एंड सरप्राइज कर सकती है आई थिंक इसी तरह से अगर उन्होंने कंटिन्यूअसली परफॉर्मेंस दिया। एक चीज जो उनके लिए अच्छी है मेरे हिसाब से, आई थिंक उनके जो इंडियन प्लेयर है वो भी स्टेप अप कर रहे हैं। जैसे हमने बात की एम ए रनावड़े की, इजाकी की, जेरी इज ऑलरेडी डूइंग रियली वेल। जेरी जो लेफ्ट बैक खेल रहा है वो भी अच्छा कर रहा है। लास्ट सीजन ईस्ट बंगाल के लिए आप बोल सकते हैं कि उतना ज्यादा उन्होंने मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कि नहीं, एवरेज सा सीजन रहा था, लेकिन इस बार आप देखिए कि जब सारी टीम आपके स्टार्टिंग 11 के 11 के 11 प्लेयर अच्छा करते हैं तो आपके ऊपर भी वो परफॉर्मेंस का रिफ्लेक्शन आता है। ही इज डूइंग रियली वेल आल्सो ऑन दी लेफ्ट बैक पोजीशन। सेंटर बैक में तो मुर्तजा फेल एंड डेलगाडो है ही है। तो अमरिंदर का भी आप देखिए बीच में थोड़ी सो पेची पे आया था, लेकिन अब धीरे धीरे वो भी यहाँ पे फिर से बैक ऑन दी ट्रैक दिख रहा है। सो आई थिंक रियली रियली लुकिंग डेंजरस। बट हैदराबाद के लिए आई थिंक मोहम्मद यासिर इज अ पॉजिटिव साइन। एक चीज जो मोहम्मद क्या बोलते हैं कि हैदराबाद के साथ मेरे को अभी भी लगती है कि उनके पास जो इंडियन प्लेयर्स है कंपेरेटिवली बाकी जो उनके अराउंड जो क्लब्स है उनसे मेरे को लगता है कि बेटर है, बट स्टिल दे आर नॉट प्रोड्यूसिंग द रिजल्ट। क्योंकि आप देखिए अब्दुल रबी आपके वहां से, निखिल पुजारी, नीम दोरजी, साना सिंह, विघ्नेश दक्षिणामूर्ति, फिर मार्क जोथनपुरा ने आज बेहतरीन मतलब वो जो लास्ट में चेरी वाला सेव किया, आई थिंक दैट वाज अ क्रूशियल सेव। एंड उसके अलावा यहाँ पे मिडफील्ड में भी देखिए साहिल तोरा, हितेश शर्मा को भी चांस नहीं मिला। तो दे हैव कपल ऑफ यू कैन से कि गुड इंडियन प्लेयर्स, बट स्टिल वो एक कहीं ना कहीं आई डोंट नो वेयर इज द प्रॉब्लम, क्या प्रॉब्लम है बिहाइंड द
Foreigners,
सीन, क्या
Hiren, I
फॉरेनर्स।
think
एग्जैक्टली
foreigners
मेरे को भी
this
वही
season.
लगता है सर।
Last season you had Uday at the back line. You had
एग्जैक्टली
up front, you had Bartok Beche up there, right? Even Javi Severio chipped in with goals. What was the Australian name? Number 7 का player, नाम भूल गया. Anyway, so they you know, help us. Number 7 last season Hyderabad. Not coming the name. But again, these these foreigners are off. Again, Chianese, yeah, Joel Chianese. Thanks, Lord Baker. And Joe Knowles is trying. Penninan is trying. Moya is trying, but it's not working for them, and that's the problem. If you see, that the foreign contingent at this club is not good enough this season, and this is at the end of the day, the it's not clicking, and when these players don't click, then the rest doesn't click. I think, yes, Harry Maguire, you're right in the saying that the management, the coach, all of it is an issue for the club. But you know, Thangboy Singto knows this club inside out. Thangboy Singto is a good one in that way. Connor Nestor, I saw him on. I saw him today. So he was there again, you know. So even Moya is back. So there's all these rumors that the people have left. They're there. It's just sometimes again, and if for example, Joe Knowles' shot goes in, we don't know how the match goes. And this is Hyderabad's been so close, and Ian said it. They've most of the matches have been close. And overall, yes, we can talk about the foreign coach issue. Again, Manolo Marquez is one of the best managers to have graced Indian shores. So therefore, that is a loss in itself. But I think also the whole foreign contingent is a problem because he then rightly said, if you look at the Indian players overall, Hyderabad actually has one of the best Indian contingents. They most probably are in the top 4, top 5 maybe. So therefore, these are the kind of things that makes it. And again, if players are not paid their salaries, problems in and around the club, this does affect the club at some stage. I think Manolo did an exceptional job last season to keep things calm and quiet, to get the teams get that team into the playoffs, and held the squad together. These are issues, and it doesn't matter which club it is. It's always an issue, and if it's an issue, you need to try and sort it. And sadly, Hyderabad has been struggling in trying to sort these things out.
एक चीज सर और भी है कि वो यहाँ पे जनरल ट्रांसफर विंडो में कुछ चेंज भी नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज यू हैव ऑलरेडी फीफा बैन एंड आई थिंक अभी तक तो मतलब ऐसा कुछ दिख नहीं रहा कि सिचुएशन यहाँ पे इम्प्रूव होती हुई सो वो भी एक यहाँ पे आपके लिए है कि 4 फॉरेनर्स आपके पास बचे हैं अभी एंड आई थिंक उसको भी अब बाय लेट्स सी यहाँ पे आई थिंक
see there is still time. It's the 17th of December. A FIFA ban can be sorted in 24 hours if you pay off the players when there are pending salaries. So therefore, anything is possible. So therefore, that's the question: can the current owners, raise enough money themselves in some sort of way, or do they need do they need to get outside investors to come into the club? So that's the only thing. If they can sort that out, I think something or the other can be sorted. And Hyderabad, as I've been saying, I think is one of those teams. If they get 2-3 wins on the road, on the run also, you never know where Hyderabad could end up. Hyderabad suddenly could be a challenger. I know that we see that breakup of the top 5, and then you've got 4, and then you've got the 3 at the bottom. But all those 3 teams at the bottom, Jamshedpur, Punjab FC, and Hyderabad FC, it's really, really tough on these teams because there's those teams have the potential to win matches. They've been just unlucky, that's a fact. But again, at some stage, you can't talk about luck. You would then most probably talk about are you good enough or not, and that's the challenge. That's the real challenge now.
Another question for you, Mark Zotampuya's performance today. Enjoyed it?
Maxo has been performing well. Again, there are certain players in the Hyderabad squad who've been doing personally well. Again, despite all the troubles of the team, and especially the backline. Even if you saw how Hitesh Sharma and Nikhil Pujari were going in, those tackles, and they were giving everything. It's just that, it's just they're unable to score, and that's killing them. They're not playing bad football even today. Robin Singh said it at the half-hour mark. Let's see who scores and how. At the water break, and then suddenly two goals in 5 minutes, and this game is done. That killed Hyderabad's back. Whatever happened in the second half is different, and they were not able to score. Even if Joe Knowles scores, if Moya scores, if Penninan scores, you never know how the match ends. And that's the thing, that when you have a positive wave, like Odisha is riding on a huge positive wave at the moment, these things work. Look at that Roy Krishna goal where the ball. You see Nikhil Pujari is in the goal. He sees the ball is going, and he can't do anything. This is all of us who've played football know these kind of situations. We were standing on like, how did this ball go in? And you saw Roy Krishna's easiness after scoring that goal. Huh?
Yeah. Absolutely.
मतलब वो थोड़ा सा लक भी चाहिए होता है to win the matches. ऐसा नहीं, and that's I think all the 3 teams I think lacking. I think I would say Jamshedpur also yesterday आप देखिए जिस तरह से बेंगलुरु एफसी का मतलब वो एलसीने वाला पेनल्टी था, एंड जमशेदपुर हैड देयर चांसेस. यहाँ पे मंजारो को 2-3 आई थिंक 3-4 ऐसे चांस मिले थे, देयर शुड बी अ गोल, बट वो अंदर गोल के अंदर ही नहीं डाल पा रहे हैं. and same goes for
Yeah.
the Punjab FC also. So that is the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Amal also appreciating Hyderabad's performances. He's saying it's a good passing side, and they're doing. It's not happening for them.
इसमें इसमें राहुल देखिए, नहीं इसमें क्लियर कट चीज है, अगर आपकी फुटबॉल आप खराब खेल रहे होते तो यू विल बी थ्रेस्ड आउट बाय 3-0, 4-0, 5-0। आई थिंक बड़ी टीमों के सामने आप उतने उतने गोल मार्जिन से हारते ही हारते। दे आर 2 मैचेस मोहन बगान के सामने 2-0 से हारे, उड़ीसा के सामने 2, बाकी सारी मैचेस उन्होंने 1-0, 1-1 एंड 2-1 से ही हारा है। एक ही दैट शोज कि भाई ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई वन साइडेड गेम वो हारे हैं, दे हैव बीन इन द गेम बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दे डिडंट एबल टू फिनिश द चांसेस दे हैव क्रिएटेड।
And
High is
it also shows when we talk about stats, about ball possession, about this, about that, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the only thing which matters is the ball has to go into the net. Very simple. If
Net.
Hyderabad had the same opportunity, let's say Jonathan Moya had the same chance as Roy Krishna, that ball would have rolled past the goalpost. It would have not
exactly,
rolled in.
Goalpost.
exactly.
That is the sort of that is the winner's luck, and it's and I feel especially for Nikhil Pujari, where you're standing in that goal, you see that ball and the ball is going past you. That's the worst thing. The worst thing, and there's no speed on the ball. If someone, let's say Ahmed Jahu, fires a rocket at the goal, you can't do anything. But this one is like slowly, and it looked like in slow motion, and bump it's in. And you can't do anything about it.
The thing is, the way Roy Krishna connected it, that deserved to be a miss. And
Miss,
that deserved to go wide.
And I
उससे
don't
पहले
know if it was Pulosto or if it was Robin Singh who said this would have been a part of the worst misses of Roy Krishna's collection.
For sure,
right?
for sure,
exactly.
exactly. So it was one of those. But Roy Krishna is playing at the moment like the Roy Krishna we've known at ATK and Atletico de Kolkata. He's back to that form. It's very, very interesting. Rahul will not like it, but there's certain strikers who've gone to BFC over the last few years and sort of have misfired over there, and then they go on somewhere else. What was that guy?
Rejuvenated.
Trinidad striker who went to Northeast. I'm
Wilmar Jordan.
No. Not Darren. Whatever. Again, someone will tell me. I'm bad today with names.
Okay.
And the point here is that you see experience, knowing the league.
Brown.
Thanks.
Deshaun Brown.
Thanks.
But Deshaun Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
Deshaun Brown is horrible at BFC.
Yeah, but this is an interesting one. It's a trend, right? Number of strikers who've come to BFC over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
All strikers after Miku have not been able to get to that level, right?
Exactly.
So that's the point. But the point with Odisha is Sergio Lobera knows his spine is very, very clear. Starting with an Amrinder at the back, and then just moving forward, and then he's got the team working. And in a similar way, but different tactics, Manolo Marquez has done the same thing to Goa. Goa and Odisha have had good squads. Now they have very, very good squads. With a few tweaks here and there by bringing in players, maybe changing a few things and training here and there. It's not much, but those changes are, from a good to a very good coach or manager, there is a jump, and that's what we see at the moment.
That's the difference maker. I think that is the difference maker.
Yeah. Guys, again, Rachit saying again, good to see Odisha strikers getting on the score sheet. They're doing it now pretty well. Roy Krishna had sort of settled in, and Diego Mauritius, of course, he's been there.
But Roy Krishna ने उससे पहले मिस किया, वो देखा था अहमद जाऊ का ब्रिलियंट बॉल आया था और सीधा
I think he did not expect the ball to come. I think
exactly.
He thought he was offside because he didn't seem ready for it, because he was so free, he could have stopped the ball and could have scored.
Ball.
And that's something which again, but that's striker's luck, right? You saw Joe Knowles. Joe Knowles was you could see in his face is, when will I finally score again? That kind of
Yeah,
feeling. And that is,
yeah, that's
and it's so close, right? On the other side, the striker is scoring this goal. On the other side, you're not able to score. And this is what football is sometimes sadly about. Some
yeah.
teams are successful, some teams fail.
Yeah. Guys, again, there were two more games yesterday. Of course, Mumbai played out a 0-0 draw, and then BFC won. Finally, they beat Jamshedpur FC and sort of finally they've registered the second win. Mumbai East Bengal. Frustrating to see a draw against East Bengal, and again, it still keeps that pack close in mid-table. What do you guys make of that game?
I think definitely Mumbai City. I think the nil-nil result. I think that's the loss for the Mumbai City. Crucial 2 point, I would say, for their field contention, because they need to get this 3 points. And some decision from Peter Kretke. I don't know. It's a part of the squad rotation or he's testing the player, whatever. I don't understand why. Matlab, Vikram Pratap or Changte is not starting on that right flank and Bipin to start on that flank. That was a really surprising decision for me, to be honest. And Chayas Rane ka start karna. So couple of decision I think would have been, matlab you can say questionable after the yesterday's performance, and they should be winning that match. Simple as that. You can't just you can say कि वो मतलब क्या बोलते कि एटलीस्ट आपको मतलब नेक्स्ट कपल ऑफ मैचेस अगेंस्ट नेक्स्ट इज आई थिंक मोहन बगान, then you have a Kerala Blaster, then Chennai FC. So I think really important matches for Mumbai City now. They have to you can say get back onto the track, because FC Goa have been drawn. Now you have another match has been drawn. So I think they need that 3 point, and I think let's see Peter Kirky how the things will be turned around.
Yeah, absolutely. Arnava, a quick word on that game.
East Bengal did well defensively, put in a fighting shift in the game. So those are the positives. Mumbai City have only themselves to blame. I think it's not a question of formation. I thought Bipin played one of his best matches in the recent past yesterday. It was quite good. It was quite lively. But somehow the other, they were unable to score off the opportunities they created. The Pereira Diaz sort of, not able to get a touch on balls. Sometimes that final pass missing. That was something again, and the 3-4-3 formation, didn't settle in, and therefore he switched later on to a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. It's again, it doesn't feel it worked yesterday, and that's the question. I also was surprised that Al-Hayati was sitting on the bench, even though again Johan Fanif played a good game, but had a few situations where Adi's talking about the penalty handball. Yeah, could be given, could not be given, wasn't given. I feel the hand was too close to the body and too short a distance. But again, could be given, could not be given. But I don't think it was. To me, it wasn't a penalty. I think Tiri and Clayton Silver were quite lucky in that situation where they actually went after each other, that both of them actually were allowed to continue. I mean, Thierry was very, very close to a red card, but Clayton Silver as well, he should have gotten a card for the first foul itself. So there was some, it was quite a harsh game, and I think that was the physicality. East Bengal's physicality actually worked for them, and they were allowed to get away with, Hijaji Maher, in some situations on the other side could have gotten cards. But yeah, it didn't happen. So therefore, Mumbai City have only themselves to blame. You had the opportunities, and especially after sort of the 70th minute, you had East Bengal on the ropes. You just couldn't get that ball in. And the question is also taking Rex Stewart off and bringing on Al-Hayati might have not made more sense to try and play those two together. That's a question what you have to think about, and that's something that they need to think. And I don't agree with Parameshwar that they need a better player than Fanif in that position. I think Joel Fanif is a good quality not only defensive playmaker but an open playmaker. But maybe in that situation where you're trying to get an El Khayati, and maybe you have to risk it and say, listen, I'm going to play Vinith Rai in that position, and risk offering that I have it. And the question is also finding who is your best Indian winger at the moment. Vikram seems to have been the favorite in the last 2 weeks. Goes out. Bipin didn't play bad, as I said, but wasn't that effective. Changte has been sort of on the bench over the last 3 weeks, which is an interesting thing. Yeah, and it just didn't work out for them. So I think the new coach is also trying to understand how his team operates and works. Mumbai now, as I said the other day, has now 2-3 systems to play around with. And I think now they need to slowly settle down on a system and say, okay, are we going to continue with our 3-4-3, or are we going to fall back on a 4-2-3-1, or are we going to go on a 4-3-3? That's, I think, the first question that the coach needs to figure out and find out. The good thing is Mumbai hasn't conceded in 3 matches. I think that's something that you didn't see last season. Mumbai normally outscored teams. So therefore, yeah, that's something, and I agree with Harry Maguire. I think the Jahu factor is something which, if you see him at the moment in Odisha, yeah, maybe an Ahmed Jo. I mean, just think about a team with Ahmed Jo, you're playing with an Indian backline, but playing with Ahmed Jo, and in front of it you have El Khayati, Greg Stewart, and Pereira Diaz. That would have been insane.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely mental. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens in Mumbai, because they're still in contention for the league shield. Guys, moving on to the I League.
Before
Hiren, your
that,
take? Yeah,
Rahul, I
yeah,
wanted to ask you as a BFC fan, what's your take? How important was that win
huge,
for Gerard
huge,
Zaragoza
and
and for BFC?
huge. I don't know. I mean, I was at the ground yesterday, and one thing that we saw as fans is, as soon as the game was over, the manager calls everyone into a huddle, and he's sort of telling them, guys, this is. I mean, we take it game by game, of course, and but sort of it's a great win, and the vibe was good. I think we needed that win. I think the players felt it. There was a lot of happiness that's been missing for a long time. So yeah, I mean, it's good. I
But
mean, the win.
Rahul, one thing is that this is how start with every new manager. The thing is the this thing how many matches this thing will remain the constant, because
No,
on the
true,
way
true.
these things are lost, and then the all the problems are coming to the surface. So I think
No,
that is the big challenge for Zargodan. I think rather than playing a good football, I think that spirit, that intent, positive intent shown from the player, and that's work from
yeah,
them.
yeah. And I thought Suresh was brilliant. I genuinely thought Suresh was
Yes, yes.
brilliant yesterday. He was incredible. Not only the
And
work rate, but
I
some
think साइमन हाँ
is on the
हाँ बट
wing.
आई थिंक साइमन गेसन ने जो जाते जाते भी बोला था, कि वो सही था, कि भाई प्लेयरों के अंदर से वो डिजायर, अगर जब उसके अंदर खेल रहे थे वो नहीं दिख रहा था। एंड कल के मैच में आप देख ले, कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट प्लेयर्स, सुनील छेत्री देख लीजिए, बाकी भी कोई भी प्लेयर उठा के देख लीजिए, एज यू
Yeah.
मेंशन क्या बोलते कि सुरेश ले लो, या फिर आप रोशन का परफॉर्मेंस ले लो, कल इज बीन ब्रिलियंट।
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. The matter of the win, the way the win came, it doesn't really matter. The win was important, and I think it's going to sort of translate into the team. I think that we're now looking sort of for back-to-back wins. Again, you play Northeast at home, you win that one before the break. It'll set up nicely for the second half, and we'll be 13 points in and around the sixth position mark. So yeah, it's a good win. It was nice. It was good fun yesterday. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this. So yeah, coming back to I League, guys. Hiren, the way it's shaping up, again, Mohammedan on top, Srinidhi, Real Kashmir chasing. What have you made so far?
आई थिंक डेफिनेटली मतलब जिस तरह से आईएसएल ने भी इस तरह से चल रहा है, थी उसी तरह से रोलर कोस्टर राइड हमें आई लीग में भी देखने को मिल रही है। यू कांट प्रिडिक्ट वन टीम, नो डाउट मोहम्मदान एससी करंटली लुकिंग द फेवरेट्स, बट जिस तरह से आई थिंक आज उनका मैच था चर्चिल बदर के सामने, अब चेक करो तो स्कोर कौन जीता है। सो जिस तरह से आप
Goalless.
देखिए, goalless draw, and I think
Yeah.
that's the you can say ki advantage given to the Srinidhi, or you can say ki Real Kashmir, Shillong Laijong, Aizawl FC. I think these 3-4 teams has been surprise for all of the आई थिंक जो भी आई लीग को देख रहे हैं, क्योंकि एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था किसी ने. मोस्ट ऑफ दी आई थिंक जो फ्रेंड्स वो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे कि गोकुलम केरला विल डू वेल, चर्चिल ब्रदर विल डू वेल, श्रीनिधि विल डू वेल, मोहम्मदन डू वेल, बट शिलोंग लाइजोंग, आइजोल एंड रियल कश्मीर ने जिस तरह से अपने होम पे, नो डाउट ज्यादा मैचेस उन्होंने होम पे खेले, लेकिन स्टिल जिस तरह से मैचेस का रिजल्ट आ रहा है, एंड आई थिंक एक रोमांचक होता हुआ दिख रहा है लीग इस बार की. वही आई थिंक मजा आने वाला है. मतलब ऐसा नहीं होगा कि क्लियर कट विनर होगा. एंड लेट्स सी यहाँ पे बाकी भी टीम, क्योंकि आप देखिए एक चीज कांस्टेंट रही है इस बार कि कोई सी भी टीम किसी को हरा रही है. ऐसा नहीं है कि यहाँ पे 6, 7, 8 वाली टीम है वो टॉप टीम को नहीं हरा सकती. आप देखिए कि जिस तरह से इंटर काशी ने अभी कम किया है, दे आर ड्रॉप डाउन टू 8, 9th पोजीशन, एंड नाउ फिर से वो यहाँ पे दे आर ऑन दी अप द लेडर. बाकी आप टीम्स देख लीजिए, दैट इज अ गुड पार्ट, एंड देयर आर सम गुड फुटबॉल on the way also, and there are a couple of young Indian players. आइजो लेप्सी के जो स्ट्राइकर है लेलन, आई थिंक उसका नाम है कुछ, एंड डेविड लेलसंगा, बाकी भी आप देख लीजिए, दे हैव बीन क्वाइट अ गुड प्लेयर. सो आई थिंक इट्स अ पॉजिटिव साइन.
Yeah. Harry Maguire backing Srinidhi to win. I don't know what about you at this stage.
I think if you look at it now, we've got 2 more matches to go to reach the halfway stage. I mean, it's a 24-match league. So from that perspective, Mohammedan Sporting looks very good. But one thing has to be looked into this table as well, is a lot of teams who are at the top have played a lot of matches at home.
Home,
And
exactly.
and that is something, if I'm right, for example, a team like Inter Kashi, only 2 of the first 12 games are at home. So they have
Yes,
an
exactly.
advantage in the back end of the league. And this is something which, especially when you go to real Kashmir, it's winter. For Gokulam Kerala, they lost 3-0 over there in an 11 a.m. fixture, right? I mean, those guys are coming from 30, 32 degrees, maybe 35 degrees in Kerala and Kozhikode. And then it's freezing, it's cold.
Cold.
so you're screwed already. You're screwed already when you go on the field. You're thinking, why am I here? Why? It's like the football. If Rahul, if I would say, Rahul, come play with me football tomorrow, please come play with me football tomorrow. Rahul, with his lovely weather in Bangalore, he's done and dusted already. The weather will kill him. So that's a
For sure.
huge. It's a huge factor. It's a huge factor. The weather. The same applies for Aizawl and Shillong. It's cool out there. I've seen some of the matches involving Shillong Lajong. The SSA Stadium, they're not playing in the big Nehru Stadium. They're playing in the compact SSA Stadium. I saw the match against Aizawl the other day. Aizawl won in Shillong, but it's packed out, right? They're building a new stand behind one of the goals, and even there, I don't know, a few people were sitting over there. There is that vibe, and it's good to see that Shillong, Shillong Lajong, that Aizawl, Real Kashmir have the backing. But a point which I want to address today, and we can talk about it at the end of the season, the question would be, if any of these teams would win the I-League, would the ISL clubs, would FSDL allow these I-League clubs to get promoted to the ISL? Because there's certain set criteria. Even Roundglass Punjab was struggling to fulfill those criteria, right? So therefore, the question is, the ISL spot, is it really a race between Mohammedan, Srinidhi, Gokulam Kerala, and potentially Churchill Brothers? I'm just throwing this into the room. I think that nobody else is discussing this at the moment.
इंटर का से भी सर मेरे को लगता है कि जिस तरह से पॉलिटिकल बैकिंग है, मे बी.
I know Inter Kashi quite well. They're not ready for ISL yet. They will need 2 or 3 years to get ready for ISL. Forget the political backing. This is not. There's sporting factors in India. I know a lot of things work with political backing, but this is something which they'll have to do the groundwork. They're at the moment they've lost their home ground, Ikana, because it's just not good enough. It's not ready, right? So therefore, they forced a few things. Let them work on things. They have a lot of potential. But Inter Kashi, give them 2-3 years to settle down, to organize themselves as a club, and then move into the ISL. I think that is the better thing. I think even Roundglass is not fully ready for ISL action yet. You see that. They need to grow in that structure. And Rachit, I don't agree. Mohammedan Sporting is by far not ready for the ISL. Because even in East Bengal is in its 4th season. East Bengal is one of the biggest clubs in India. But to me, East Bengal is still not has not really arrived in the ISL fully.
Hmm.
So therefore, that is something that these clubs need to learn. This is new Indian club football. The ISL is a different beast. The I League is something different, and I like this I League season because it's got a lot of these things. It's a lot of this nostalgia, I would say, right? So, but it's nice because it's a pan India league that makes the I League so interesting. That you have a team from Kashmir, you have multiple teams from the northeast, you have teams from the south, from the east, from the west. This is something which makes the I League so interesting, and the ISL again might not be something nice for the purists, but again there is a matter of money, and we were just talking about Hyderabad as well. So there are real solid
Yeah.
factors which make an ISL team, and it's a tough ask. Infrastructure wise, this that everything, it doesn't make it easy. Think about a place like Chandigarh cannot host ISL matches, or the Chandigarh region cannot host matches, and I can speak about it because I was involved in setting up Brown Glass as well. So I know that it's not easy in that, even with all the support that you could get, even with the political backing, it doesn't work that easily. It's still India, right? Therefore, Srinivas Deccan, most probably amongst all the teams in the I League, is most well
Are
prepared. With
prepared.
they've built a football stadium. They've built a football stadium in 3 months, and they've followed up with their developed it since last year. They have multiple training grounds. They've got an academy in place. They've got more than some. They've got actually Srinidhi has more than Hyderabad FC.
FC, exactly.
So so that's something which we need to see, that the growth of Indian football can only happen if again, I would love to see that it's right, and you go too much with the stadium, with the Rajiv Gandhi. I've been there. I've even played five-a-side on that turf myself. Lovely, but Aizawl has certain infrastructure requirements which it which an Aizawl, an Imphal, a Shillong will have difficult teams, and that's the point. And again, we have to be careful. Our leagues have been growing. Again, it's a general discussion again that we would go to, but we'll have to be careful in how we grow our leagues. Do we have the number of players? There's some interesting players coming in, but overall the quality, we have to be careful about that.
Yeah. Again, guys, just quickly wrapping about the I League, taking a few comments as well. Harry Maguire says, "Real Kashmir's home conditions favor them." Very unique, of course, to other teams coming in from different parts in the country. Churchill Brothers slowly increasing their game quality. Real Kashmir again picked up a rhythm. Let's see if they bottle it. I mean, we'll see. I mean, they're hunting right now the top team Mohammedan. Yeah, guys, moving to the IWL, which is again is sort of with 2 game weeks in, kickstart on top. Hiren, are they the overwhelming favorites along with Gokulam to sort of go for the title, or Odisha have a good chance according to you?
I think if you consider is for the women's football, I think this is a new start, new era, and I would say overall you can say that this is the seventh season for women's league, but I would say this is the first season for women's football in the structure wise, proper home and away format, proper quality teams. आप देखिए last season 7-0, 8-0, 5-0, 6-0 scoreline देखने को मिल रही थी. This season you have reduced the teams, but quality has been there, and that's the good thing. And this is the first, you can say, कि right step in the right direction. And I think वो दिख भी रहा है जिस तरह के मैचेस भी हो रहे हैं. Otherwise it's a all Okulum Kerala, but now Kickstart has a good team. Odisha FC has a good team. East Bengal's women's team is also a very good, I would say, team जो कि मतलब result produce कर सकती है. So this is a good start and looking promising. There are a couple of youngsters also coming in. You can say 15-16-year-old playing in the IWL, making the impact. So these are the things जो हम क्या बोलते हैं always यहाँ पे women's football के लिए डिमांड कर रहे थे, and finally इस डायरेक्शन में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. So that's a good sign.
No, again, just a kickstart, guys. Again, I went to this game and just as an institution, because Kickstart again is a Bangalore club. Sort of, I've seen from where it started and what it's become. It's they really. I feel like there's something really happening here. They just recently signed a partnership with Tottenham Hotspur as well, and now they've got two full-size 11-a-side grounds in Bangalore. So a lot of things going right for the club. Arnav, do you see them sort of becoming a big name in Indian football in the future?
Well, they have potential, and they've not only focused on the men's game, but they've also focused on the women's game. So that's already a very, very positive sign. And they've also built on their youth development. I think a lot of
Mm.
people outside of Bangalore don't realize that how much of youth football is happening in the city. With BFC
City.
being around, Bangalore United has it set up, South United has it set up, Kickstart had it set up, uh, uh, um, and it's very, very important to realize that it's a very important thing, right? To see a club grow. Kickstart, the women's team, Dalima Chibber as a captain, other players in there, national team players, they've got quality in them. But as we discussed on our podcast, and if you want to listen it, it's still available on Sports Kabri or on Foot with Shaggy in there, with Akshata as well. That we do think that Odisha FC is the team to beat this season, and the quality that they have, despite Gokulam being sort of a triple defending champion in the IWL. And I think Setu is another team besides Kickstart that could give them a run for the money. Those two are sort of amongst the challengers with Odisha FC, and the rest make up the numbers. I think East Bengal has done well for themselves, but East Bengal saw against Kickstart, where they lack. I think that's also a very, very clear-cut sign where they lack to a top team in the IWL and Hops and again Sports Odisha. Yeah, those two teams are going to fight it out most likely for not finishing last.
Okay, okay. Interesting, Hiren. Who do you see sort of winning the IWL? I mean, it's very early on, of course, but early good signs from particular teams. You see?
I think definitely it's a fight between Odisha, Gokulam, and Kickstart, to be honest. But I think I slightly, you can say, कि give ahead for the Odisha. I think the team they have made, and I think Gokulam Kerala के जो कुछ की प्लेयर थे, I think वो जो नेपाली स्ट्राइकर थे, वो I think उन्होंने इजराइल क्लब के लिए साइन किया है. So that made have a you can say कि huge gap for them, and they made a couple of signings, but I think उस अभी तक उस तरह से आप देखें उनकी परफॉर्मेंस हमें देखने को नहीं मिले. फर्स्ट मैच भी जिस तरह से उन्होंने यहाँ पे ड्रॉ किया. सो आई थिंक लेट्स सी हाउ गोकुलम केरला रिएक्ट एंड कम अप विद द परफॉर्मेंस. बट आई थिंक इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी वन मैच. जैसे मैंने बोला कि लास्ट 2-3 सीजन से तो लग रहा था कि भाई गोकुलम केरला इज द विनर. लास्ट सीजन में डेफिनेटली वहां पे ओडिशा ने अच्छी टक्कर दी थी, लेकिन आई थिंक दिस सीजन दिस इज गोइंग टू बी एक्साइटिंग लीग एंड मजा आने वाला है कि भाई कौन सी टीम यहाँ पे चैंपियन बनती है. एंड चैंपियन टीम यहाँ पे चैंपियंस लीग भी खेलेगी. सो दैट्स आल्सो clubs are looking for. And inaugural women's champions league will start from next season, and उसमें भी खेलने का मौका मिलेगा to winner of the IWL. So I think this is a positive step into the women's football finally.
Yeah, yeah. Again, just going to take a couple of comments here. Bangalore going to become modern football hub. Hopefully, let's hope so. I mean, I
No,
think it
it's
already.
Raul, it is for me. It's already is. I think if you look at how much of possibilities there are in regard to youth football, youth leagues, structured youth leagues, which are sort of
Oh, sorry, just lost
sorry,
you. But yeah.
yeah.
Please continue. Yeah.
Just saying that I think in Bangalore, what you have already now is these clubs running programs. In parallel to that, below that, they have pay-to-play programs. So to say, if kids want to play football but are not good enough, the clubs can't provide for them. They are in a paid system where the system sustains itself. So that's a good sign. You've got the Karnataka State Football Association organized competitions. And on the other side, you also have the privately run leagues as well. You've got baby leagues, all youth leagues, all these things are there. So I think Bangalore, as a major city, shows to other major Indian cities what should, needs to be done to to get as many kids as possible in an organized football setup. I think that's a very, very important one.
Yeah, yeah. Again, guys, want to take this question because why afternoon kickoff for women's leagues games? Any particular reason? And
Certain grounds don't have
Flight.
floodlights, so that's the first one.
Floodlights issue.
And
आज
the
भी
second
floodlights off हो गई थी.
in Odisha, right? And second point is that for smaller teams to rent a ground, uh, uh, um, that cannot pay for the floodlights. So at some grounds it
Floodlights.
costs 30, 40,
Operational cost.
50,000, 40, 50,000 a match rupees to just turn the floodlights off. On, sorry, on, not off.
Yeah.
That's something that is then by itself a challenge, right? So therefore, yeah, it's there are multiple reasons, and you're trying to schedule it in some sort of form of way. Then again, sometimes it's also the TV production guys is, can you go, if you're doing a 7 or 8 o'clock kickoff, can those production guys actually go home after the game? You know, it's just logistical issues. So there are multiple issues why these matches then, in the afternoon.
Yeah. So, well, guys, that's pretty much your answer to the question. And again, everyone, thanks for joining. Anava, Hiren, everybody in the chat. Yeah, tomorrow we've got another ISL clash. It doesn't stop. It never stops. I guess Punjab and Chennai, and then we've got a day's break. So it's going to be a couple of days, 1 day without Indian football, and then we're back. Thanks again to everybody, Hiren and Arnava. Please do like and share these videos. Subscribe to the channels. Sports Khabri, Curious Harry, Arun Foot, and Indian Food and Football. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Good night.
Good night, everyone.